going southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast.
That's
again
right.
From the Frogg Toggs booth, and we got Mr. Lucas Haygood on the podcast. What's going
up,
on,
Lucas?
brother?
Thank y'all for having me, man. It's going good. It's been a heck of a day here at the Ducks event that they put on, so it's a lot. It's been hectic over here, so
That's right.
But I'm glad to be here, man. I'm glad that y'all invited me on.
Absolutely,
Thank you, man.
We're happy that you joined us. It was just funny. I was talking off air with Kate's cousin Riley, and he's like, "You got to ask him why he's got such a hate for Busch Light apple."
Dude, it's a women's drink. And I see these I say kids, I'm almost 30 and you know, so I see these kids on here, dude, and I'm like, for one, how did you get the money to afford that? Because they're filling the truck beds up with Busch apple.
Right.
And I'm just like, dude, it's, you know, is it good? It might be good, but it's like, it's a trend now.
Right?
Women drink it.
Yeah.
Right?
We should have done Smirnoff if we were going to do Busch apple.
Yeah,
I remember back in the day, whenever they started really marketing Busch Light,
Yeah.
and if you didn't drink Busch,
Oh, yeah.
you were a wuss.
I know.
You know what I mean? And now you drink one of those, you're like,
Yeah,
"Whoa."
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
not
for
strong
sure.
enough for it, for sure, but
Yeah, whenever I was younger, probably like 16, 17, you know, I'd go to a party and people would be like, have Busch Light, Natural Light and stuff, and I used to have to force myself to drink this so I didn't look like a little wuss in front of everybody.
oh man, when they came out with back in the day, they came out with Keystone.
Oh, yeah.
Bottle of beer taste in a can, boy.
Oh, man, they say Keystone's the only thing a bear won't touch at a campsite.
I barely even drink Natty Light.
that sounds like a Mississippi phrase right there.
Oh my gosh, dude.
For sure.
Well, dude, tell us a little bit, man. Like, I'm just genuinely curious to know about, what got you into the outdoors and where that passion, who put that passion in your life.
Okay.
yeah, let everybody know who you
So
are.
I'll go ahead and give the name right now, Kyle Rooker. That is, you might as well say my dad. So when it was 2003. I think I turned 7. They had, at this time, my aunt and uncle, he's my uncle, biologically, but they had a lease in Brinkley, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
And my father had passed away when I was 3 in a car accident. And my mom, she fought a drug addiction for a long time. So they would come and get me on the weekends during duck season and carry me to Brinkley. And they had a blind on a rice field. And I got to hunt with them. And I remember, dude, I was so small. I didn't even have waders. They eventually took me to Buck and Bass and got me my first set of waders.
Okay.
And or they had a hand-me-down pair, whatever it was. He used to carry me on his shoulder, put me in the blind, and never killed anything that I can recall. But I just loved it. And then fast forward a few years, my mother finally, she passed away. And they adopted me. So that's why I say he's my dad. And they had a lease, and I'll never forget it. It was a farmer named Sammy Metters. We had a pit in Marion, Arkansas. And he bought me my first gun. It was a New England Firearms 410 single shot.
Wow.
And you talking about stoked as a 9-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, I was absolutely. So all them years leading up, he would let me take my pellet gun or whatever to the blind. And then we got that pit. And started going. He worked on the road, so he was off on every weekend. I went every weekend, loved it. Never killed a duck. Seen a few spoons killed. We used to say that place was full of teal and shovelers. That's all we killed.
Yeah.
And then I was too small. He had a cousin named Brad Seacrest who owned a place called Nichols Lake. Nichols Lake was heaven when I was a kid. It was unreal. So this is like 07, 08. I was 11. I was finally big enough to go to the lake, and he carried me. And at this point in time, I had a hand-me-down Mossberg 20 gauge. And I remember being with Brad Seacrest and my Uncle Kyle and Brad's son and my brother Dylan Rooker. And we used to sit on the banks of Nichols Lake, and it was nothing but cypress. And, dude, back then in 06, 07, the amount of mallards in Arkansas was unreal. And anybody that hunted back then will tell you this. And my first duck I ever shot, I think I was 10 or 11. It was right at shooting light. We had a single drake come in on my side. I was on a cypress tree, and it was 5 yards, and I folded it. And then after that, dude, it lit a fire under my butt that I literally, dude, if my fiance was here, she would tell you all the same thing. He does not shut up about duck hunting. So I give credit to my uncle, to my dad, really, for putting the fire in me that I can't put out because I just love it so much.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
Everything about it, and now that I'm doing social media, I'm getting to meet people like you, Donnie, and getting a network at these events and meet all these people that have the same passion I do.
Yeah.
But that's where it all started, man. Back just a young kid. I started off with a troubled life young with my parents, and then they pulled me out of it and give me something that I'll have for a lifetime.
That's right.
Awesome,
That's
man.
right, man.
We talk about a lot, man. Like, one of the things I've always been really fortunate about, and like I don't take it for granted, is that my dad showed me the outdoors, and like having that mentor, and a lot of people today just don't have a mentor that are trying to get into the outdoors. So like that's what
right.
makes it so cool, full circle. Like what you're doing,
Right.
man, is because you I'm sure you get messages all the time. I mean, who knows how many people you've helped because you
Exactly.
became this mentor now and have kind of lived like
Yeah.
full circle.
And we all fall, it sometimes gets stressful, but I try to reach out, like today, these young kids that are here, I try to reach out, if I can give them some words of wisdom or, shake a hand, take a picture, point them in the right direction, be an inspiration. I try to be the best that I can.
Yeah, I'm big about that. When it comes down to it is, their vision of what the sport's all about is what we are in charge what we're in charge to display.
Yeah.
Right? So every single thing that we do, that we put off, little guys like Charlie here,
Yeah.
they're watching that and they
Dude,
say,
he's busy. He's still working.
I know it, dude. Charlie's still slinging it, folks.
He ain't got time for the podcast today. He's making money.
That's right. That's right. But we create that image, right?
Yeah.
Of that, and that's why it's our job to show what the sport is really about. It's not just about shooting ducks, right?
Right.
It's actually about way more than that. And
Right.
even what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
You create, everybody in the waterfowl industry are cut from the same cloth, and you make friendships you make a friendship with somebody and you're like, dude, I swear I've known them for 10 years,
Right.
and you've known them for 3 months.
Right.
You
And
know
what's
what I mean?
crazy is this industry is so small. You don't
is.
realize that it's so big. Like, you look here, there was probably 10,000 people here today.
Oh yeah.
But it's like all of us are connected with them in that we all have the same passion.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. No, I just think it's so super important, that we got to always, while we're out there having fun, especially like Tristan and I are always big about telling the story, right? I mean, that's why we came up with the one hell of a duck season last year. It's what we're focusing more on this year. You look back hindsight and you say, hey, how can I do it better?
Right.
Be your worst critic or your best critic, I should
Exactly.
say, and at the end of the day, it's about telling the story.
Yeah.
And getting somebody to say, I want to be part of that journey.
Yeah.
And, one thing I'm curious about, Lucas, which I'm sure you've been asked this, probably on every podcast you've been on, but I'm just curious, what was the motivation to, start putting yourself out there on social media? Because you know how it is, right? Like,
dude.
especially
When I tell you that I didn't know a thing about social media, I barely knew how to post on Instagram. So me and one of my good friends, Bailey Ostrander, we went to Dallas-Fort Worth, and she had some friends down there. And we flew down there for a weekend, got to hanging out, and Bailey had been doing the social media stuff for a while, and got to talking to some of her friends, and I'm like, so what do y'all do for a living? They're like, oh, we do, we're influencers. And I was like, influencers?
what does that mean?
I was like, the only influence I know is under the influence, and I don't think that's what y'all are. I mean, maybe it is right now, but so they were like, no, we do TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and these people are driving around. I said this on the last podcast, in brand new F-250s, paid for cash and stuff.
Right.
So got to talking to Bailey at the room, and I was like, so what's this tic-tac? What is this? And she was like, oh, well, she was showing me. And I was like, so you're telling me all I got to do is pick this up, film myself, and post it? She said, yeah. So I had this big dream and stuff, and I'm sitting there and I'm, doing the TikToks, and I was getting nothing.
Yeah.
I was doing the pretty boy stuff, trying to be like some of these influencers, these Western guys.
Yeah.
I told Bailey, I said, I'm done. I give up. It's not working.
Yeah.
And she's like, just talk about something something you love. I was like, duck hunting. We'll do duck hunting. That's how I was saying. I was like, we'll do duck hunting. And so I started posting it, still no traction, not getting nothing. And I was like, I made something talking about a gator tail. I got, talking about the boat or something, and people just started hating. Comments started coming. Views started running up, and I said, okay. So I started to think. I said, the only way I can run this up is either, 1, be relatable, 2, start controversy. So from then on, I just started running with it, So that I give credit to Bailey, and because if it wasn't for her, I probably would have still be like, not knowing nothing about the internet. But I'm glad that I started it, and I get a lot of hate from it. I get a lot of love, So and it's opened a lot of doors to a lot of opportunities. Like I've met so many people, dude. I'm so thankful for everything.
Well, I've always said, I've said this numerous times. Tristan's probably heard me say it's just. It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September, and it's 85 degrees, and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frogg Toggs is not only the leader in breathable wading technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. You can get on Google and you can look up something bad about Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So no matter, and especially the more of a spotlight you get in, unfortunately, there's a jealousy factor and things like that are involved.
That is one of the biggest things right there, what you just said. It's a jealousy factor. I've lost some of my best friends over this stuff.
Yeah, no, and it's sad. But you know what? In a good way, it's kind of like a funnel of life, right?
100%.
You know what I mean? And the ones that you're real good, you learn, especially when you're my age, you start out with all these friends, right? And then you start to learn that the older you get, that you know what? I really only got like a couple.
Right.
And I call them your moving buddy.
Right.
Right? When you make that phone call, so I need help moving, they're like, absolutely, I'll be there.
I've got one, Brett Schnabel. I'll tell you right now, he was here today. You couldn't have said it any better right then.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is, And you know what? I think I got a lot of duck hunting people that I've met in I'd say in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
That I'd probably help move more than some people I've known all my life.
Yeah.
I mean, for
Facts.
real. Because I know they'd be right
100%.
there. They'd be right there behind me.
Well, you can tell. I think a lot of what to be successful at this stuff, and there's a level of hard work that goes into it, and I think we all kind of recognize, especially after you meet somebody, you can tell pretty quick who's a genuine person. So I think you kind of just have that commonality and you can trust. But
for sure.
Lucas, one thing I wanted to talk about is I saw you post a video the other day. You were talking about just the truth of hunting public land in Arkansas, and obviously a huge can of worms there. There's a lot of shit you talk about with that.
A lot.
But, we a couple of years ago, we always trying to show the reality of hunting. And we put a video on YouTube called The Reality of Hunting Arkansas Public Timber. Shot three birds that day, but showed the boat race and shit and the run into the hole and all of it. And, the video you were talking about in particular, how these guys are blocking holes and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's messed up, but it's we got a lot of hate on that video for posting that, but it's the reality of what it is.
Yeah.
It's
And anytime you use the word, I'm not even going to say the state, use the word Arkansas,
yeah.
it's a tender subject.
Right.
Especially with everything that's going on now. You like you said, you're opening a can of worms anytime you talk about that stuff, but it is the reality of what's going on in that state. And, excuse me, coming up, I hunted a lot of private as a kid. And then once I got a little older, I started, venturing out on my own. I wanted to start hunting public. And to watch the ramps grow and to watch the people grow and the woods fill up with people, and it's crazy what's happened over there. And I'm one, and like I talked about it the other day, the draw. I'm 100% for the in-staters having first priority.
Yeah, me too.
I'm 100% over for that.
Absolutely.
But something's got to break over there, and or it's all just gonna go downhill for everybody.
Well, and and again, that's our job, right? Like we're out there to weed out that badness, right? Like I've always said this: no matter where you're hunting, no matter what you're hunting, if you're in a deer stand and you see somebody set up 50 yards from you,
Right.
bow hunting. If you're in the woods and somebody sets up 50 yards, I will bet my life every time that 9 times out of 10 they don't know what they're doing.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? It's not because you're going to find that 1% that is a jackass for sure.
Yeah.
You're going to get that, this is mine. I always say you can't pee on public land and own it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but fact of the matter is that, again, our job is to get the real message out.
Right.
And that say, no, look, that morning, hey, man, come over here, hunt with us, and
Yeah.
listen, I'm going to give you some advice.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And we do that same thing, and that's how it's got to be. And I've had my faults, trust me. I've been
Sure,
madder
we
than
have
a
too.
hornet.
We have
I've
to-
been madder than a hornet out there, but a lot of times, like when we were hunting up north last year in Arkansas, it's more like, we get there first and people are coming piling up behind me, and it's like, you go from boat to boat, hey, how many people you got? Okay, you got 2 people? Good, we got 6. So now we're up to 8. Then you go to the next boat. How many people you got? You got 2? You want to hunt with us? Yeah. Okay, let's do it then. We got room. There's no reason for us killing each other trying to get this hole.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to end up with nothing.
That's right.
And then you may end up getting hurting somebody, or whatever, the case may be.
I've told this story before, and you might not know about this, but one of the things that was probably, I don't know if we'll ever have a better opportunity for a video like this, but we were hunting early teal down in southeast Georgia, not a big teal area for early teal. Went out there, busted our ass. We're out there scouting. For 2 days. We haven't seen a bird, and we're about to give up, and we're glassing 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I look through my binoculars. I'm like, there's no way that I just saw a bunch of blue wings flash. I'm talking like 500.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no way did I just see that. I give the binoculars to Tristan, and he's like, dude, those are teal.
Yeah.
Well, we're like, it's out in like a desert marsh. No way anybody could find that unless they had a drone or something, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, anyway, this would have to be 1,000-yard marsh walk through mud this deep to get out there. You have to bust your ass. Well, anyway, I said, we're going to come out here, sleep on the dike. Not that we own it,
Yeah.
but we're going to be there first.
Right.
And I said, I want to protect. There's only one way into it. I said, I want to, if anybody shows up, I want to tell them, say, look, we're not going in there and disturbing them birds until we have to.
Right.
To go get set up. Well, anyway, sure enough, about midnight, and we had 6 guys.
Yeah.
I hear mud motors coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe this is going by, and then they all stop. 2 of them, 10 guys get out.
No kidding.
And all these guys are like, what are we going to do? And I don't know if it came from God or where it came from. Honestly, I just instantly snapped into something and said, we're going to hunt together. I said, they did their work. The only reason why they're here right now is they went out and did what we did.
Yeah.
And found those birds. So we ended up putting them together. We went in there, quiet, got everything set up. They had 10 guys. We had 16
So you got
guys.
16 guys.
We shot 78.
It was so.
we were our 6 was 4 short of a limit.
They
all
shot.
limited
They
out.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the next day, most of those guys, a lot of them were with the Coast Guard and stuff like that, couldn't show up the next day. They got their fill,
Yeah.
and we go out there next day and a couple guys, and we're still best friends with them today. Oh, Willie, or we call him the
Foshi.
no, but what we nickname him? We call him the what?
I don't know.
What they used to call Willie Nelson and
The
highwaymen.
highwaymen,
That's right.
yeah,
Highway
yeah.
boys, yeah. Anyway, but still to this day, they showed up. We're like, hey, come on in. We're going to show you where it's set. But we're setting up with those 10 guys
Right,
because they were
yeah.
working. But I said, we'll show you exactly where it's set up. We look over there and we're smoking them. I'm just smoking them from sunrise. I mean, just boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. And I look over and every bird that goes by there is just not stopping. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, they don't have a mojo. So I told one of our guys, I go, take a mojo over there too.
Give it to them.
Yeah.
They limit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's
And
awesome.
I'll never have another opportunity.
You are very few and far between that will help somebody out like
Oh,
that.
dude. And so I thought we were blessed with that opportunity to put that message out.
Yeah.
That if one person sees that, they'll go, hey, man, come on over here.
Yeah.
Let's hunt. You know what I mean? So,
And you forever instilled that in them that, hey, like, there's no telling
just
what
ran
they
into
felt.
that- who did we
When
just-
y'all come over, they were probably thinking, why are they coming over here?
Right.
But, to bring them a mojo, a piece of your equipment that you paid for, that you put the time in, and give it to them to help them fulfill what they were there to do, there's no telling what measures that did for them.
And like I said, we're great friends with them today, but I'll tell you the best part of it was like you had a great seat.
This summer, make memories on Florida's Forgotten Coast with Williamson Outfitters. From inshore and nearshore fishing to scalping and snorkeling in the bay, plus custom boat tours made for family fun, they've got something for everybody. And when the sun sets, it's time for a nighttime flounder gigging adventure you'll never forget. Small group or big group, day or night, Williamson Outfitters has a fleet of boats and a team of licensed captains ready to take you out. Call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com. Williamson Outfitters, making the Forgotten Coast unforgettable.
At the best duck show.
Right.
Because we would already limit it out, and we were waiting for them to limit out and not disturb anything. And boy, you'd see them come, boom, and then we like, here it goes, boom, boom, boom.
They see that
You know what I mean? And we're over there, whoa, let's go.
Right.
But my favorite part about that though really is when we got done, we all go into town, we pull in this little gas station, little bitty small town, we pull in the gas station, and this real old gentleman comes up, and we're all on waiters, he goes, "Was you part of that World War III over there?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "You guys shot the shit out of him." Yeah. I said, "Yes, sir, we sure did."
That's great.
Everybody in that whole town heard those guns going off, man. But
I want to before we get too far down the road, I want to circle back on the quota topic, or the lottery topic with Arkansas. I think I've always so we hunt Florida a lot, and they have some good opportunities where
Incredible.
You don't pull it every year, but when you do, you have a really good chance. They post the bird numbers, and it's average four birds a hunter.
Right, yeah.
They literally log every bird.
So
that they do their data on it, and they publish it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I understand it's a slippery, especially for someone like you that's spent years hunting public land out there, to see it go to this. But playing devil's advocate,
At least a portion of it.
I if you had from us, for example, coming from Georgia, if we were going to go out there and let's say it's once every 2-3 years for somebody from Georgia to pull it, I don't, whatever they do. I mean, if you had a chance of having a good hunt and not having any drama and all that, it's kind of I get why that's attractive. You know what I mean?
Right.
In the current climate. But I mean, what are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Man, it's really
It's tough.
I kind of get what you're saying here. A lot of people come from out of town in hopes of. This is one of the biggest things with Arkansas. It is the patriarch of duck hunt. It is a staple of the mallard duck.
Yeah.
The mallard duck is the state of Arkansas. So when you have people that are coming from Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, Florida, they're coming to Arkansas in very high hopes of shooting the mallard duck in a numerous amount and having success every day. And that is one of the biggest things, I would say, that starts with the issue and the problem of what the in-staters would say is we're overcrowded with outer-staters, is because a lot of these people come over there in hopes of shooting a bunch of mallards.
Yeah.
And they get over there and they realize that it isn't what they thought.
Right.
Are the mallards there? 1,000%.
Yep.
Is it just putting your boat in the ramp and running up into the woods and shooting the hell out of them? Hell no. I promise you.
No.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of, running the roads to figure out. And that's what a lot of people don't get that come from Georgia and Alabama and the Carolinas and Florida. And that's where a lot of the in-staters, I think, have an issue, is that once they get over there, and then they're just like, oh, well, we're going to hunt anyway, So it takes a lot of time. And I know I get it, coming from, 8 hours away, because we hunt, even past Arkansas out west. And it gets tricky sometimes, and it's like, damn, we put all this time in, these miles, we want to kill.
Right. Yeah.
But we understand the fact that it's more than just showing up, throwing the decoys out into a reservoir and shooting the piss out of them,
Right. That's right.
So if you're going to go to Arkansas, you're going to have to put up with it, and you got to put in a lot of work and have sportsmanship while you're at it.
Well, and a lot of that work comes into meeting people and shaking hands.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
I mean, I think one of the best messages that Dennis and Billy put off over there is about just doing your homework, and you got to scout. You know, he always says, he goes, spend half of your trip, no matter where you go, plan on spending half of it just scouting it and talking to people. I mean, we still are in debt to a guy today that, you know, met us on the boat ramp, said, hey, versus us going out and messing up somebody else's house, he said, come on.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take you guys out.
And there's a story of one of my good friends, Seth Miles. Some people know him as Mallard Miles. He got to hunt with Dennis and Billy. He's actually in that video. What me and my friends call the mother load, where they found it. He was broke down at a ramp, and this is a prime example I tell people about Dennis and Billy, what kind of people they are. He had an old mud buddy, and he was broke down at a WMA, and Dennis and Billy just happened. You know, they'll be at the boat ramp just talking to people, hanging out or whatever. And Dennis walked up to him and was like, hey, you know, he was having troubles, couldn't get his motor to start. He was like, well, how about this? You take your boat back to our camp, just get in a boat with us, you know, hunt with us. You know what? And I promise you, if you took 100 people out of this convention right now, 90 of them wouldn't do that.
Right. No.
That takes a lot. A random person just say, okay, take your boat back to my house that I live at, and come get in a boat with us.
Exactly. No, that's incredible.
So
they're incredible folks over there.
For sure.
And they've done such a good job of promoting the sport in the right way. You know, the same team has been their big thing. You know, enjoying the journey, that kind of stuff. Man, big shout out to those guys.
100%.
You know, one of the things, because we're a little bit of time. We usually like if we have somebody like Ramsey on, he goes, "Good luck, here we go," and it might be 3 hours. You know, but we are kind of limited on time. We got the Sportsman's Bash tonight. Which is going to be incredible. But one of the things that we wanted to go through is we got a new segment we're doing here. It's called This or That.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to hit you with a bunch of this or that's. And,
okay, let's do it.
And we'll give you a chance to pick one when you're done and explain why you said that.
Okay.
All right. So, 12 gauge or 20 gauge?
12 gauge.
All right. Surface drive versus outboard?
Surface drive. We'll keep it. We'll run it up on that one.
Public versus private?
Public.
All right. Face paint versus no face paint?
No face paint. What the heck?
Oh, man. Monster or Red Bull?
Monster.
Okay. Breakfast pizza versus breakfast sandwich?
Oh, breakfast pizza from come on.
From Casey's, right? You ever eat there?
Shell station in my hometown make you slap your mama, your wife, and your grandmother.
All right. Single read versus double read?
Depends on it, man. I've got some double reads and a nice single read. We'll go with a single read.
All right. Ford or Chevy?
Ford. What kind of question is that?
All right. So, last one. All right. Busch Light or Miller Lite? I know the answer to that.
Busch Light 100. Not the Apple, but Busch Light 100%.
Oh, let's go.
That's awesome, man. Well, Lucas.
So, which one do you want to be able to explain why you picked it?
Yeah.
Pick one for me, and I'll tell you.
Okay. All right, surface drive versus.
Yeah, that would sound like a
dude. That's so controversial.
Donnie went with outboard.
Yeah, you know, surface drive. People want to say, you know, they are loud. Yeah. We get it. But you can run a surface drive anywhere you can run an outboard. You cannot run an outboard anywhere you can run a surface drive.
That's true.
So if it comes down to it, what can I get more out of? And I can get more out of a surface drive, and I might disturb the neighbors while I'm at it. But you know what? It is what it is.
That's right, man.
Well, man, I'm sure. 99% of the people listening to this probably already follow you, but okay, yeah, sounds good. You know, where if anybody's listening to this that you know isn't following you, where can they get connected with you at, man?
Man, you can find me on Instagram at Haygood84. I'll spell it out one time, HAYGOOD 84. Same on TikTok. It's same on, you know, that's really it, TikTok and Instagram. So if you want to follow me, just hit the link.
And hold on tight.
That's right. Man, I appreciate y'all having me out today, dude. Y'all are some good. I'm glad we met. And
yes, sir.
Y'all got a good thing going, dude.
For sure.
Coming out and networking and, you know, questioning people like me that I don't feel like I should be on a podcast, but I'm glad that y'all give me the opportunity.
Oh, we love it.
There's a lot we can learn, honestly, man, from everybody we have on. So
That's right.
Yeah, man.
We'd love
Absolutely.
we'd love to have you on another time and and just spend a little bit more time
Yeah.
digging into some
Maybe
topics.
next show if y'all are at, or we can get up this season and y'all can, we can do another one and
Yeah, man.
That's
just
right.
whatever.
Sounds great, man.
Well, you know what? As we always say at the end of everything we do,
It's
One hell of a life. That's right. Thank y'all.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.